Hey YouTube, you're watching the JR Cig reviews here today, and today's review is going to be on one of the last packs that was brought back from America, my trip to New York, and I finally managed to obtain it from my brother, and here we are. I'm just going to get straight onto it. Nat Sherman Havana Ovals. Now these are from the same line as the Cigarettellos. They're the other ones to them, and they're unfiltered and brown, so made with rice paper, so the same as the Cigarettellos, but one difference between them, I shall just show you if I can get one out of the pack. They're a little awkward to get out of the pack because they are quite tightly packed. As you can see, there we are. Okay, so the difference between these and the Cigarettellos is in the name. As you can see, they're oval, hence the reason Havana Ovals. But in terms of difference with the Cigarettellos and these, there's not much besides the shape. The paper is the exact same to the Cigarettellos. The tobacco tone is the exact same as with the shield saying NT with Sherman. So yeah, let's get, yeah, there we are, that's a better one. So as you can see, it's very faint. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, but the shield there, and then it says Sherman's. And like what I was saying, it's in brown rice paper. But in terms of flavours, with the rice paper being from everything else, I'm not sure if it affects the flavour at all. But anyway, let's see if these taste as good as the Cigarettellos. So first draw off the bat, it's a little lighter than the Cigarettellos. With the first draw of the Cigarettellos, you did get a little bit more of that throat hit. Not much, but you did get a little bit more with the first draw. But with the first draw of these, I didn't really get anything at all. Same with the second draw. I can taste it. The flavour of this cigarette is very good. It's very much similar to the Cigarettellos, but it is a little different. It tastes a little bit richer, a little bit darker tasting. Oh yeah, the taste is very good. It's not as similar to the Cigarettellos. It does have a little bit more of that bold kind of individual flavour, but it's very nice at the same time. The tobacco is quite strong, so the same as the Cigarettellos, but in terms of throat hit, I'm not getting anything at the moment. So a very smooth cigarette going down. But then again, I'm basically just starting off, so I may get more as I get down. But flavour wise, right from the start down to the very bottom, there is flavour within the cigarette the whole time. It's a very, very good cigarette. Like the Cigarettellos, you really do need to try these because they really are a great cigarette. It is odd. With the shape of the cigarette, it's very different. It's something I've never had before, a cigarette that is oval shaped, unless being squished by accident, or just, you know, if you've sat on it, well, like what I was saying, by accident, if you sat on it and it's squished it a little bit. But yeah, in terms of an oval cigarette, I've never actually had that before. The shape wise, it's very different. But flavour, yeah, it is nice. It's different in one aspect to the Cigarettellos, but it's the same in terms of strength. I do get the throat hit now. And draws pretty good for it being its shape. Yeah, it's a very odd cigarette, but definitely a very good cigarette nonetheless. let's go ahead and check the body on this. Pretty much the same as the Cigarettellos. A little disappointed on the body, but again, with the Cigarettellos, well, with the same as the Cigarettellos, I can't really mark it down on the body at all, because the flavour and the burn time is the exact same to the Cigarettellos, and it supersedes it by a lot. So yeah, it doesn't really affect the ratings, in my opinion. Oh yeah. Throat hit, well, I'm definitely getting it now. Nicotine hit, it's not my first cigarette of the day, but it's definitely a change to what I had. I actually had a Gitane this morning because I couldn't pick up my usual Gauloise, so I picked up my Gitane, and yeah. But in terms of nicotine levels, I am getting that nicotine hit, which is good. But even saying that it's not my my first cigarette of the day, but it's definitely a good nicotine hit. So it's very much the same as the Cigarettellos on quite a few levels, with the strength of the tobacco being the same in with these as with the Cigarettellos. Burn time as well is more or less the same. Taste wise, it is the same, but it does have that, like, it does have its own individual bold flavors. These seem, they're a little bit more spicy on the palate than the Cigarettellos, but still a very good cigarette. And if you haven't tried any of the Nat Sherman range, and you're living in an area in America, or if you're living in New York and you haven't tasted them, you really do need to stop off there and make a visit at Nat Sherman's townhouse, because like what I was saying in my Cigarettellos review, it's definitely a place you need to visit, whether you're in New York or if you're going to visit New York. It's definitely a place you have to visit. The atmosphere is brilliant. Staff are very friendly, they're very helpful. If you're kind of finding it a little hard to find the right cigar for you, they'll help you in any which way they can in order to find the right cigar for you, whether you like a Churchill size or if you like a Robusto. In terms of flavour as well. So yeah, it's a very, very good shop. You really do need to go and visit. Price wise, they're the exact same as the Cigarettellos as well. They retail at $14.50 including tax. But obviously, if you're living in any other place, any other state in America that sells Nat Sherman cigarettes, you'll probably get them for quite a bit cheaper. But everyone knows that New York being very expensive for their tobacco, very expensive. So yeah, but anyway, the price really cannot reflect on the taste and the burn time of this cigarette. Really, I mean, you can't ignore that you have to pay $14.50 for a pack of cigarettes, but you will definitely not regret paying that amount, because they are really, really good. Like what I was saying in the Cigarettellos video as well, that Nat Sherman cigarettes basically come into a class of their own, because one being that they're made with 100% natural tobacco, same as the natural American spirit, but these do taste a lot better. They do contain FSC, as with all American cigarettes, but you can't taste it, which is very good. No chemical taste within the tobacco, so which basically lets you know that it's a very good quality cigarette, probably one of the best you can get your hands on. Oh yeah, I really can't recommend the Nat Sherman range enough. For the 2 packs that I've brought back, I wish I brought back more, but again, the price really does affect on how much you actually buy. I only bought 2 packs, but I wish I picked up more. I really do. But again, if you're just buying these, then you're gonna want to pay the $14.50 for them, because they really are a brilliant cigarette. Probably one of the best I've actually tasted in terms of being a natural tobacco cigarette. Going back to the flavour, It is, yes, it is very much like the Cigarettellos. It's like really kind of a dark tasting, almost cigar-like tobacco. It's with these, it's not like you're inhaling a cigarillo. You get more of that feeling with the Cigarettellos, but these really are a good cigarette. They're a little bit lighter, but a little bit more spicy on the palate, like what I was saying. The Cigarettellos are just that little bit sweeter. But again, you have to pick them up, definitely. And if you can try, and if you get the opportunity to try any others of the Nat Sherman range, do. I never got the chance to, and I wish I did. So yeah, if you do get the opportunity, try pick up all of them, although it will cost you quite a lot of money. But worth every penny, really is worth every penny. Okay, let's get on to packaging today. So, it's very well. It's similar in a way to the Cigarettellos, except this is a bit more plain. As you can see, it's just a brown background with the white oval there saying Havana ovals, and Nat Sherman there. Non-filter, brown paper. It has a little disclaimer, the same as the Cigarettellos. Basically, 100% natural tobacco does not mean a safer cigarette. So basically just telling you that natural tobacco doesn't mean it's a safer cigarette. FSC by the barcode, 20 Class A cigarettes made in USA, and it has the exact same essay. So I'm not going to bother reading it out, but it has the exact same essay to what it said on the Cigarettellos. Not for sale to minors, smoking is an adult pleasure, and such and such. But yeah, packaging, I would actually prefer the Cigarettellos packaging more than these, but again, I'm not really too much on the whole packaging design. I do like them, but I do prefer the Cigarettellos packaging wise. But with the cigarette itself, I can't really compare the two because they really are both very, very good. Oh yeah. And like what I was saying, burn time is very, very good. Excellent burn time. And I'll just check the time on this. Wow. Okay. So let's go on to ratings. So for Havana ovals, flavour wise, definitely a 10 out of 10 for flavour. It has that individual bold flavours to it. So in terms of flavour, it is the same as the Cigarettellos, but again it has its own individual flavours. So yeah, a 10 out of 10. The exact same for the Cigarettellos. 10 out of 10 in flavour. Burn time is 10 out of 10. Chemical rating is 0 out of 10. I can't taste any chemicals in the cigarette whatsoever, even though they do contain FSC. So yeah, a 10 out of 10 for Havana ovals, and I'll just show you the packaging one more time. There you go. And yeah, this has been my review on Havana ovals by Nat Sherman, and until the next review, guys, goodbye YouTube.